Hey guys, welcome to another One Piece review. It is a nice chilly day here in Florida and a good day to read a chapter of One Piece. So a new chapter, bunch to go through in this chapter because we got revealed a very critical hype thing that changes a course of how we thought Shanks was moving and how this person has moved in the story. So we actually got revealed this Shamrock character way back into the Reverie. So Oda already had a idea. No, well, he could have changed it at any time, to be honest. But he had this planted already since the Reverie that Shanks was gonna have a double. He's basically Shanks, and I don't know. We're gonna jump into that part on who this could be, who Shanks could be, and if he's a son or a clone. So we'll jump in. We're gonna go through the chapter. I want to talk about some Herald stuff, King Herald stuff. So we begin the chapter right where we left off with the Straw Hats and crew. They're breaking into the castle, but they see that it was broken out of. So we know that they how they left through the front door, and which also gives the sentiment that I want to know how Loki reacts when he sees this character. So we'll get back to that part. But is he gonna say that's Shanks? You're the one that was trying to kill my father. You're the one that killed my father. There's so much theories that could go to this that there's so much information moving through my head right now. Because of the theory that he probably mistaken this person to be for Shanks because he looks exactly the same except for the hair. So they're going through the castle. They see a bunch of ancient skeletons. We get some lore about the ancient giants, which had horns on them. They were a warrior race, and they're talking about some people still have the blood, like King Harold. King Harold had the blood, and he ripped out his horns, which is insane. But One Piece logic, manga logic, whatever. He ripped out the horns, no problem. And Zoro's just that's conviction. That must have been intense. So and then he's there. We're getting some road exposition or lore about him, Hydruden lore with how he wants to be the one that unites all the giants. So we also get another piece of critical information that I wasn't aware of, that I might have forgotten, that there's other countries of giants. When he said that, I'm like, what? Where? I only know of Elbaf. Where are these giant countries? It must have been referenced somewhere else because I haven't heard anybody else freak out about that. So somewhere else in the story, there must have been like a giant's referencing of a giant's country. So because I thought that was huge. I'm like, there's other giants. Where? What are they saying? And why haven't we seen any other giants in Elbaf with horns? That I'm aware of. I haven't seen or pointed out anybody that has horns like Kaido. So that's why Kaido might be a half giant in this case, but a half ancient giant because of the horns. Because he is not an Oni, he's just like an ancient giant. He just has horns, and that's what Yamato is, but she's just a smaller ancient giant who has horns. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love this. It's diving into the lore of they're just hybrids now, and they can come out in all shapes and sizes, but they still have that ancient giant blood in them. So we get some Hydruden lore. We have the dream of uniting all the giants, which would be great. It's just uniting all the countries, and then we cut off where they're jumping in. They find the other giants, and we're gonna probably, I hope, Luffy just runs over to see Loki because he senses something's wrong. But we'll see. We'll see. That's the next chapter prediction. We cut to where Loki and Gunko are. We get the name, and we see more names of the ability. We see the ability is called the Arrow Fruit, which I just want to say it looks very close to what Emu was using, the arrows, and some people were saying it's his tail. Just it could just look the same. I'm not saying this could be Emu, but that'd be insane. That's a wild theory out there. But no, it's a noble knight. But the power seems similar. It could be gifted by Emu, maybe not. Maybe Emu was copying the ability. I don't know. So many ideas in there. But we see that she either telegraphs her attacks, which she does, I think, or Loki might potentially be using future sight hockey to predict what she's doing. Even though you see the arrows of what they're going to do, Loki's just saying, oh, you're going to kick and uppercut with your hand. Instead of, I don't know what you're going to do. I just know you're going to hit me in these directions. Which is very weird-ish because she says, my future is determined by me and nobody can stop it but me. So is that your arrow fruit ability? If not, that's it OP as hell, and you need a lot of hockey to counteract your true hit. Basically, you're telling me you have a true hit modifier, like a true hit on your devil fruit, which is insane. That's an insane paramecia, broken almost in if you don't have hockey. Which I don't know if I think the chains are no, because Luffy was able to use hockey, I think, when he had the cuffs on him. So it's weird that he's not hardening using armament hockey to deal with the blows or deal with the future of the attacks, or he's just chained and he really can't help it, no matter what she does, which is probably the case. But I know that Loki is very strong. Oh, before we cut off, I wanted to. We'll get right back to Loki, but Hydruden, not Hydruden, King Harold, right? Oh, this is the theory, man. So I'm going through the chapter and I'm like, so everybody that was in this castle died. There's only one person that's left alive, and that is a witness. There's Loki and not Hydruden. Keep calling him Hydruden. Loki and Jarul are the only ones left that can be a testament. And we see King Harold's sword, and I think it looks like the sword that's gone through Jarul's head. So hear me out. We have only two people whose testament is true and what people think is true, right? Jarul is probably forgetting something. There's something in Jarul's memory because he was there. He might be able to test that it wasn't Loki fudge. Keep forgetting. I keep messing up Hydruden and his dad's name. Wow, I just for his name just blanked out. The king, King Harold, right? So imagine he was actually bad because everybody keeps saying, wow, he was such a good king, good king, good king, good guy, good guy. It could be a Mother Caramel situation. She's like he might be actually evil. And Loki was trying to stop him, and Jarul was there. And he's like, yeah, I'm fighting him. I'm fighting the king because you're bad. You're a bad guy. But he got the sword stabbed through his head. He forgot everything in that situation. He just knows what people are telling him because he was laying on the floor. Loki was like, the king was dead. Loki was the one alive in that situation. It could be that nobody believes Loki. It's an Usopp situation. He's telling the truth, but nobody believes him. It's insane. I think that's the theory. I think that's what's gonna happen. He's actually a good dude. He was actually defeating the king, which is a bad dude in this case. He had ulterior motives. It's insane. I think that's what it is. It just makes too much sense, right? It makes too much sense to not be the case. And once they surgically remove or figure out somehow to remove the sword from Jarul's head, we're gonna get the case where he says, I remember Loki was the good guy. He was defending the giants. Oh, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes so much sense. So that's what I think is gonna be the case. That's the theory. I think that's the one. But yeah, it could be completely too obvious, right? It feels obvious to me, like that's the case. That's it. That's the story we're going with. But it's too obvious. Maybe we'll see what happens, but I think that's the direction we'll go with. Anyway, we go back to Loki, and he's getting hit by Gunko on all these attacks. She shows a ton of arrows going at him, and he just, we gotta commit. We gotta show respect to Loki's just determination and conviction that he is not turning. He might even be like near death at this point because he's not gonna give in. He's not. If he was evil, why would he not? Maybe he just doesn't like the celestial dragons more than what the giants are, or in that case, or he's not evil. He doesn't. He's like, I'm not gonna betray everything I know just so I can survive. I'm not a coward, which is great. That's awesome twist to the Loki lore. But anyway, Loki in Norse mythology. But yes, we get the revelation at the end of Figureland Shamrock, and he puts down the cloak and he changes. It's Shanks's brother or clone or something. I can't tell because I also want to mention on how it could be extremely sadistic that he was in a chest, right? He might have been a reward for the celestial dragon Victor. So anyway, we'll go back to that in a sec. This person is decked out, two arms. He has two arms, decked out, has a fancy clothes, celestial dragon attire, and he is the son of Figurlin Garling. So he's not Saint Figurlin Garling, I think. Figurlin Garling was Saint, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that all the celestial dragons have Saint in them. But he is talking about bringing a force and to take over Elbaf. He is mobilizing the Holy Knights. So Elbaf just got insanely larger scope. Now we see the enemy. The enemy is the Holy Knights in this chapter. And that's great. I wasn't sure who the enemy was because I'm like, I don't see it being Loki. It has to be somebody else. And here we go. It's Shamrock. Or the Holy Knights. It's not the world government, I don't think. I don't think we're going to get the final fight be here. I think this is going to be a little step to the final fight. So the final arc, I guess. The final two more sagas, I think. No, this is the final saga. Final two more arcs. Something like that. So he looks like Shanks. Let's go ahead and delve into this, right? Is it Shanks' brother? I don't know, because Shanks was supposedly found by Roger in a chest. Was he technically a reward for the victor of the Holy Knights? Was he a clone of Figurlin Garling? Is he a clone of the brother? Is Shanks the clone? That would be insane. I mean, we have cloning technology, right? It could just be that it was done earlier. Why would a clone be inside the chest? Was he lost? Was Shanks a twin? Are they actually twins and he was just lost in the fight? And he was hiding in a chest? Maybe, but it was a baby, right? Or a child. No, he was a child or a baby. I don't remember. So it could be a clone of Figurlin Garling, a clone of the son of Figurlin Garling. But he says it's the son of Figurlin Garling in this case, so Shanks could be the twin here. And we know that Saint John J. Garcia was a scientist, so maybe he did something to clone ahead of time. And maybe it's slower, so he's able to clone it, but it's a slow process and it ages. And 20 years later, Shanks, it's a very slow aging process in this case versus what Vegapunk is able to do. Maybe he was able to improve on Saint J. Garcia's model. There's so many possibilities here. And the scope just got insanely wider here. The Gorosei, Shamrock was the one talking to the Gorosei. He could have been the one talking to them about Luffy. Instead, that's why they attacked Luffy, and they decided, hey, that's actually the Nika fruit. That's why they changed their minds between ignoring Luffy this whole time to realizing, hey, that's actually the Nika fruit, not the rubber fruit. There's so many things that change in this case. But man, this chapter is awesome. This chapter is what you want. Lore, revelations, increasing the depth of the chapter in the arc. So much good stuff. I think I am at a good point for talking. Please let me know what you think, guys. Let me know if you have any theories, any comments, anything I can improve on in the video. Great chapter for me. We got a lot of revelation, and I don't even think there's a break next week, actually, which is great. We're starting the year super strong, and let me think now. I'm at a loss for words. I kind of got everything I wanted to say out in the chapter, and just speeding through so I don't make the video too long. But if you want me to delve deeper into any of the things I talked about, guys, please let me know. You know, the cloning, the brother, the King Harold was actually a bad guy. Any of that stuff, any other topics or chapters you want me to talk about, please let me know, guys. Please, it would help out greatly. But yeah, that's it for me, guys, for this chapter. Please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.